in town, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest-running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hello, everyone. This is Amerria Mehan. You are listening to WSTU 1450 Treasure Coast Forum. I'm here, Mr. Frank Metzapelli.
Yes, you are indeed. Welcome. So, what's the latest in youth and government?
Youth and government right now in the judicial branch. We're working on briefs and memos of this case. That's a First Amendment case. It's basically this guy comes up with this whole thing called YAG. And it's like, it's a thing where they're like trying to overturn the government, like they're protesting, which they're allowed to do. But then some of their things, some of their statements are a bit treasonous. But then again, I believe even treasonous speech is protected by the First Amendment. It depends on what type. If you're literally being like, oh, here's some passcodes to the Pentagon, take the files and give it to China. Well, that's messed up.
Yeah.
But if you're just saying, oh, you know what? When I grow up, I want to take over the government. I don't think you should be put in jail because you said that when you were a kid or whatever.
Right.
But
okay.
Anyway, that's what he did. He was just like, oh, I'm not happy. It's not real democracy. We need to fix it. And so
we don't. We have a representative democracy.
Yeah. But he said it wasn't real democracy. So I think he was going for direct.
Yeah, which is
not going to work for this country.
It doesn't.
Not going to work for this country.
It doesn't.
Maybe
work.
in Athens when there's like 10 people and Plato's like friend group, right?
Yeah.
But no, this isn't Plato's friend group. This is a country full of like the third most populated country in the world. Absolutely not happening. Anyway, This kid, he doesn't want to listen to that. He's like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And he puts posters on trees, public spaces, and there's a whole rally. And it gets a little heated. And this is a fake case, by the way. This is a hypothetical case made by Youth and Government. And then there's a cop named Officer Bappa. I don't know where they came up with these names. But anyway, Officer Bappa's there. And all of a sudden, like, he sees, like, the dude who's leading the rally holding, like, a wrench or something. And one guy's like, he has a weapon. And everything's heated. So then Bappa shocks him, tases him. Because, I mean, it was, like, it looked prompted. So it's basically... The case, the argument is, was Officer Bappa's treatment excessive? Did it violate the Eighth Amendment for no cruel and unusual punishment? And was this is the speech protected by the First Amendment?
Tased them, right?
Yeah, I know, but the guy did say he has a weapon. Look out! And the guy was holding a wrench, and it's like a heated rally. I mean,
did they ask him to put it down?
The thing is, the case is only 2 pages long, and it was written by a child. So we don't have. But constitutional debate, though, that's an actual case.
Yeah.
The Mahoney v. School District one, that one is 70 pages. I mean, 45. Last year was 70. But I read all that. That was pretty wild.
What was the result in that case?
The result was they took the student side, that her speech was protected. I actually agree with it. Also, what sucks is that the dissent is only 10 pages when the rest is pro.
Right.
So I feel bad for whoever's going to get dissent. I hope I actually get dissent because I know I would lose. So at least the paranoia is gone. But actually, it would be like a challenge, actually.
Yeah.
But no, it makes sense because the pro side kept quoting the same cases. And it's like, Tinker v. Des Moines. Again, she had off-campus speech. What she said was off-campus. So I don't really think Tinker v. Des Moines would be applicable. But then the other cases they use are kind of applicable. And then they were talking about how if she was enlisted in a private school, no one would even bat an eye at what she said at that convenience store on social media. So, again, that is another point. That's why I'm on the pro side. It's off-campus speech. I think it's and she didn't even say anyone's explicit name. So there was no libel going on.
Right.
She literally just said F cheer, F school, F everything. That's an opinion.
Right.
So, again, even though it's offensive, the First Amendment, why would we make a First Amendment to protect normal, everyday, conformative speech? It's supposed to be there to protect offensive speech. This is a type of speech that we should be protecting even more so.
Right. Okay.
So that's why I'm on the pro side. It was an actual case, but Yeah, so there was this girl named BL, and she applied for the JV varsity team.
Okay.
For cheer, and actually for the varsity, sorry. And she didn't get the varsity. They put her in JV and said next year maybe you can get varsity, and she was pissed. So when after school in a convenience store by herself with a friend, she went on social media,
And
posted a selfie, and
posted
said,
a rant.
"F cheer,
Yeah.
F cheer, F everything. I got JV." That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
She didn't say any coach's name, nothing.
Right.
And there was no disruption in the class other than a few kids when the teacher had been like, "Look at what she said for 10 minutes." That's not really a huge major disruption. And again, you could be like, oh, well, since she used the medium of social media, I mean, off campus speech, isn't it technically on campus because people are seeing it on campus? Again, phones are like prohibited.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the kids are already breaking the rules by looking at the phones.
Right.
And then another thing, again, it was posted, it was on Snapchat as well. And so it only exists for 24 hours. So it was only for a few hours left at school. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like maybe a couple kids saw it then.
So the school, you're not allowed to read this during school hours anyway.
In Florida, at least.
On
This
campus.
case happened in like Minnesota or something. So I need to double check. They might have not doubled down on the regulations as much as they have here. But still, she posted it off campus and it went away after 24 hours.
That was
and
my next
There was no
question.
explicit name.
Yeah. So this is in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Another state, Midwest state.
Okay.
It's a Midwest state.
Somewhere.
Probably Minnesota.
Somewhere.
I knew maybe it was Missouri. It had an M in it.
Okay.
It was an M somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's Michigan, Montana, Missouri.
Yeah. No, please stop. Yeah. Now I'm more confused. No, it had an I in there too. So, oh my God, that's that just removes Montana. Still Michigan, Mississippi. Oh no, it wasn't Mississippi.
Okay.
Actually, maybe it was. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. You could search up BL versus Mahoney District. You Google it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they use the initials BL.
Yeah, that because her name is
Because she's a minor.
Yeah.
Got it.
She's a high school kid.
Right.
She's like a sophomore.
All right.
Yeah. Varsity cheer.
So that made her all the way up to the court system.
Supreme Court. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the federal Supreme Court or the state Supreme Court?
I think state.
Yeah, it has to go there first anyways.
Yeah. But no matter what, they took the kid's side in the end, which I agree with.
Yeah.
So
protected speech. You don't have to like it. Right.
Yeah.
And
she was in a convenience store.
Right. So she was disenchanted with the decision making. And so, I mean.
And she didn't like. I remember there was another case in the 1800s.
But she was going to take the JV gig anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
But the punishment was that she couldn't even, after that post, the school punished her. They said that she can't even do JV for a whole year. She was suspended from cheer. That's why she made a big fuss about pulling.
So that's why it went through the court system.
Yeah. Like, can they punish this? Can they regulate this? So, I mean, there was a case.
Regulating speech.
Yeah. There was like a case in the 1800s, Lander v. Seaver. That was off campus. It was like the only other case. It was like another case, but it's so vague. But anyway, there was this kid and he was outside of school and the teacher happened to be there and a couple of other kids happened to be there and the teacher's name was like Seaver or something and he just called him old.
Aw.
You're just old. So apparently the teacher, smacked his booty in class the next day.
Right.
And it was constitutional. It was fine for him to do that. Why? Because the kid said that directly to the guy's face in front of other students, therefore demeaning his authority, which therefore can disrupt the school environment, which therefore gives him the right to smack his booty.
Nice.
And that was the 1800s, though. That's outdated as heck.
Well, not really. I mean, that was that was
and he called him old.
Yes.
Think about it. If nowadays that wouldn't be considered some big libel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like someone's authority wouldn't be demeaned just because someone told them and gave them an accurate description of how old they are. Old.
So they were talking in this was like the lower grades, like 1 through 6 or somewhere.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But just saying, oh, look, he's old Mr. Seaver.
Right.
That's why it's not, I don't think it's applicable to nowadays. Because like if
Well,
that happened now,
corporal punishment was allowed. I mean, when I was in school in the
no,
60s,
not the smacking the booty.
Yeah.
The fact that he could smack the booty because of what the kid said outside of campus.
Oh,
That's the problem. Smacking the booty is fine.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
Or in private institutions where the parents give permission to smack the booty.
Correct.
Oh my God, there's a heartbreaking case. I saw it as an example in one of the little footnotes. It was something called Regina versus Hopley or whatever.
Okay.
Kid in boarding school. This is also like late 1800s. Kid in boarding school, and there's a thing called in loco parentis, which is Latin for in the parent's place, which parental authority goes to the teacher when the kid is in the school. When you enroll the kid in the school, you as a parent consent that the kid is going to be subjected to being held accountable for their actions in the school.
Right.
And the teacher can enforce that. But anyway.
Right.
The teacher telegram, letter, to the parents. And it's like, if this kid is really disruptive and misbehaves, do I have the permission to whack his booty?
Right.
Right. And the parents are like, oh yeah, if he's a bad kid, whack that booty.
Right.
So, the teacher ended up beating him for 2 hours till the kid died.
Oh, that's not good.
The kid was 10. Yeah.
So the teacher was a little over the top.
Yeah, the teacher took that as an excuse for, I can get away with murder. And you know what's crazy? I think it should be first degree.
Yeah.
But guy got charged with manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
That's horrible.
Right.
I think it should be first degree.
That was really busted down.
Yeah.
I mean, not even second degree.
Because everyone was saying, oh, it's in loco parentis. The parents gave permission to discipline the kid, not kill the kid.
Right.
2 hours, that's abuse. That's excessive. That's 8th Amendment right there.
Right.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, they gave him manslaughter charge, which is insane to me. It should have been first. It should have been first degree.
This was a male teacher or a female?
I think it was male.
Yeah.
It was a boarding school, boys boarding school.
Yeah.
Should have been first degree.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Wow. All right. So before we went to air, you were talking about your classmates and yourself in a class that were going over.
Oh yeah, so IB kids have to take the theory of knowledge, where we not only learn about what we think, but how we think. So we always look at the news and look at sources and stuff like that, and look at how knowledge is formed, what makes knowledge credible, all those things.
Okay.
So we question everything. It's an existential crisis every single day. Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right.
And so it's pretty cool. I actually saw there was this nice website we saw where you could compare statistics with different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some countries like Morocco and stuff where healthcare is much, it's free and stuff. And there's less things that would prompt people to get murdered and stuff. And for some reason, well, actually, no, I think it was the other way around, where like there was super high unemployment, but the murder rate was so low. Whereas every other country I saw with high unemployment and high murder was directly correlated.
Right.
But then, of course, it doesn't lead to causation. But still, that was still really interesting.
Yeah. So what was the takeaway from that? Or it's just a noted.
It's just, and it was crazy. Like there was this website where they showed you amount of deaths, and you just see the numbers go up, then births, numbers go up.
So Morocco is kind of an outlier.
You know what's crazy? What I saw is that the suicide rate in the globe is higher and faster than the amount of books published.
Whoa.
So more people commit suicide. People commit suicide at a faster rate than books are published. I saw that. That was pretty weird.
That is.
Because the numbers were moving slower in the book publishing section, but then the suicide rates were going all the way up.
Wow.
And then it's crazy. How did they put that all in a number like that? It's insane. I don't know how they report it. I'm questioning it. I think it might be a random number generator, but I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And well,
you can't report everything either. Not everything's reported.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So what else were you prepared to discuss today?
Oh, I was going to discuss the evils of Generation Alpha.
Okay. What is
Generation Alpha?
Yes.
That's the generation of children born from 2010 to now. So it's the youngest generation. It's going to be the biggest generation ever. They already take 13% of the US population. That's how many babies there are.
Nice.
So many. It's like you guys aren't the baby boomers anymore. They've outboomed you. Like they're everywhere. It's the
They're
fastest
everywhere.
growing. They're like there's gonna be like 2 billion of them in 2025. One generation.
Wow. Well, that's good. They can get into the workplace
I
quick.
guess so. We could
That'll-
enslave them. I'm kidding. No, we're not
We'll,
gonna do that.
we'll get them into the workplace as quick as possible.
But there's like a
they
lot
can
of
solve Social Security.
there's a lot of stigma surrounding this generation. I mean, every generation has the stigma.
Right.
Like your generation's considered like the very whiny, very right wing type of generation.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are. Yeah, it is. Like they call you radicalized Facebookers and stuff like that. And it's like the millennials are the way they are because they wanted to run away from you people. That's what they say. And then the millennials are the crazy Disney people who are used to everything being about them. And then the Gen Xers are kind of like the middle ground. They're the mid people, kind of like the middle child, which they kind of are. And so then the silent generation, they're pretty much dying. There's nothing else I could say about that. But the silent generation, that was before you guys. So that was probably your parents.
That would be my parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And the greatest generation of all time.
Well,
yeah.
My parents were part of the greatest generation.
Oh, they're part of the greatest one? That's nice. I met a few of those guys.
Yeah.
It was, remember the USO place? It was like,
Yeah.
I named them 101, 102, 103 because I didn't know.
You saw those veterans.
Yeah. Yeah. One guy told me he has no friends.
Aw.
I know. And he smiled. I'm like, where did you serve? And then he said Europe. And I'm like, cool. Do you have any friends? And he's like, no.
Well, maybe not
they
currently.
Probably
maybe
all dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so depressing. But anyway,
Well,
his
you could have
generation.
been his pen pal. You could have been his friend on, letters. Pen pal.
Dude, I don't think he could write. He could barely speak. The Indian guy who was taking care of him kind of translated everything for me.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. I liked that they were all shorter than me. That was fun. I like when people are shorter than me. It barely ever happens.
Barely ever happens.
No, I remember I'm pretty sure a couple of cops have seen me driving and I have a license, full on license.
Well, of
They'll
course.
still give me looks. They're like, the crime. That's a crime. Because I look like I'm 8. But yeah, pretty much. When I'm 40 though, I'll be really happy.
Yeah.
Then I'll look like I'm 25.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
So yeah, that's pretty good. Oh God. All right. What else you got?
I think that's it. Oh, there's a bit of a defamation of E. Jean Carroll, that case going on. Trump is supposed to testify.
Yes, he did. He testified in court today.
What did he say?
Well, I didn't actually listen to the I didn't listen to his deposition.
I remember like he was being, he was saying stuff about her and then like the judge was fed up. He's like, should we exclude you from this case, Mr. Trump? But he's like, oh, please do. That type of stuff. So it was, hard feelings everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the Trump doesn't like the judge. He's already mentioned that.
I don't think anyone would like the judge if you were at the wrong end,
Well, so it seems to me that the fix was in, and this is just kind of pro forma activity. This was to determine the amount of the so he was already found guilty.
Weren't they going to fine him for $5 million?
Yeah,
but they're like, that's not going to dent a billionaire, so
No.
they're trying to get a bigger amount.
So I don't. Yeah, it's like really just take your marbles and go home. I get it.
Who's getting the money, by the way? If he pays, who gets the money?
Well, her lawyers mostly, and
her
then
lawyers.
And then she gets a percentage.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
She's like, we should definitely make him pay for what he did to me.
And but that was civil, so that we have to make a clear distinction between criminal and civil. There was no criminal case. If they had a real, so here's my armchair analysis. Okay, if you had a real case, you take a criminal case.
Yeah,
you take a prosecutor, go after the the individual that,
Mhm.
that perpetrated whatever the crime is. But they did a bleeding heart. Oh, woe is me, with no evidence.
And they make it a civil one.
Made a civil case, which was easier because the proof is it's a lower standard for proof, almost no standard. It's like, one of the popular expressions I hear on the radio, spoken many times. If you have the facts in court, you pound the facts.
Yeah.
If you don't have the facts, you pound the table. That's what they did. They just pounded the table.
That
Woe
makes
is
sense.
me. So yeah, I don't have any real affinity for for these people that brought this case against the former
just
president.
another Amber Heard.
Yeah, it's on the surface, just at first blush, you got to know.
Also, like one of her own friends, in an attempt to support her by saying, why didn't she report it earlier or whatever?
Right.
Oh, she's like, my friend never talks about things that bad wrongdoings that were done to her. Again, if she didn't talk then, why would she talk now?
Right. Yeah, and none of this stuff makes sense.
Yeah, none of it. No. Friend, quote unquote, says she never talks about bad things that happened to her. Well, she just told the world.
You can't make this stuff up. All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump sexually assaulted anyone, but I'm pretty sure he didn't assault this woman.
I just don't see where they talk about the location
and the timing is so perfect for her to report this.
Exactly.
The timing is wonderful.
Yeah. So none of this, passed the smell test for me. So, but anyways, you want to toss it to Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Take it away, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Financial question. Are you feeling confident that you have enough money saved to enjoy a stress-free retirement? Honestly, I'm not sure. That's where Retirement Income Sources investment advisory arm comes in. We exist to help you invest your money smartly.
I'm struggling to accept my retirement without a steady paycheck. So can you help me invest into a profitable revenue plan?
Absolutely. We have a fiduciary obligation to you, helping you generate retirement income.
A properly managed, income-oriented portfolio can successfully seek to deliver both short-term and long-term return outperformance to help solve most challenges investors face when investing for a more successful, sustainable retirement. If you'd like more information about Peak Capital Management, your retirement income source right here on the Treasure Coast, call 772-334-9592 or visit peakcapitalmanagement.net.
Have you been wondering what your valuables are worth? Bring them to St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin, and their friendly staff will tell you, and they'll pay you top dollar. Hi, it's Evan 9 from the morning show, and I can personally tell you from experience that St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin is the place to go for all your jewelry needs.
Hi, this is Hawk Levy from St. Lucie Jewelry and Coins. I want to tell you all thank you for voting us #1 again. Best jewelry and coin dealer, best gold and silver buyer, and best jewelry store.
You know the demand has never been more for fine jewelry, signed jewelry pieces, coins, coin collections, paper money, Rolex, and all luxury watches, even designer purses. You ask why you should sell to St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin? It's real simple. They buy your jewelry as jewelry and not scrap. They resell everything on the international auction platform and in their local store. St. Lucie Jewelry does free confidential appraisals and house calls as well. St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin, located at US 1 and Walton Road in the Publix Plaza.
You are listening to WSTU, Stewart, Jupiter, and Indiantown,
Martin County's Heritage Station.
All right, you're listening to WSTU Treasure Coast Forum, and in this day in history, you might like this, Amerria. There was a story in American Patriots Daily Almanac today. Around the World in 72 days. You remember the book Around the World in 80 days, right? Okay, in 1873, the French novelist Jules Verne published Around the World in 80 Days, in which an Englishman, Phileas Fogg, was he bet he could circle the world in 80 days. And 16 years later, intrepid New York World reporter Nellie Bly decided to beat Fogg's fictional trip, something never done before.
Nellie Bly is such a cool reporter. Now, I've heard crazy things about her. Like, you know what she did? Like, there's a whole, of course, back then, huge stigma on mental health patients in asylums.
Right.
She decided to pretend to be a mental health patient, went into an asylum, and literally just saw everything.
Wow.
And she exposed, like, the torturous methods and stuff.
So, yeah, so that's okay.
Yeah.
So she's
really cool.
One of the first of those type of reporters. So on November 14th, 1889, carrying a crocodile gripsack, she boarded the Augusta Victoria and steamed across the Atlantic, reaching England. She made a quick detour to France to meet Verne himself. Good luck, Nellie Bly. He toasted her, and then she was on her way by mail train to Benedictus, Italy, where she sent a hurried cable to her editors before sailing for the Suez Canal. The World published daily reports on the feminine Phileas Fogg's progress. Can Jules Verne's great dream be reduced to an actual fact? It asked, the whole country followed an attempt to to girdle this. Her attempt to girdle the spinning globe. Got it. Okay. Nellie raced on the boat to Egypt. The two men proposed marriage to her there in Egypt. And Ceylon, she impatiently waited for 5 days for a ship.
She said no to both of them?
I suppose so, because
Okay.
she was moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Really fast.
Yeah. And Singapore, she bought a monkey en route to Hong Kong. And then a monsoon filled the passengers' cabins with water. Another storm hit as she steamed across the Pacific. The ship's crew posted a sign for Nellie Bly, will win or die for Nellie Bly. How cool is that? Let's see now. And then nearing San Francisco, she heard rumors of a smallpox quarantine on board the ship. So she jumped off ship onto a tugboat and headed for land. Blizzards had stranded locomotives in the mountains, so she hopped on a train taking a southerly route and dashed across the continent. And then on January 25th, 1890, cannons boomed and crowds cheered as Nellie arrived in Jersey City. She looked at her watch, and 72 days, 6 hours, and 11 minutes, she had beaten Phileas Fogg by a week. Father Time was outdone, and the world trumpeted around the globe. Young Nellie Bly became the symbol of American can-do spirit.
That's so cool.
Right? I thought you'd like that story.
That's so cool. That's the best one we've got.
Yeah.
Usually it's like one line. That was like 2 pages.
Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Let's see now. In 1915, on this date, Alexander Graham Bell makes a call from New York to San Francisco, inaugurating the transcontinental telephone service.
Oh, cool.
1915. And in 1937, Guiding Light debuts on radio and later moves to TV, becoming the longest running drama ever broadcast. That was my mom and my grandmother's favorite soap opera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they call them soaps.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know why?
Because they're soaps.
No, they sold soap products.
Oh.
That's
why they're called soap operas?
Yeah, so, laundry detergent.
I thought it was because, they're like soapy.
Soapy.
Because they're all slippery and the drama, Like, you know how like kids back then get punished and they have soap in the mouth and that would make you cry? That's what I thought it was called, a soap opera.
No, Procter and Gamble was, a big sponsor of a lot of the shows. So they make a lot of soap products.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, soap opera.
So why don't they call like, I don't know, like any news channel just the Geico News or whatever? Like I don't understand.
Well, that's
just soap? It just caught on.
Yeah, it caught on, and then the rest is history, right? Let's see. American Airlines inaugurates transcontinental jet flights with the Boeing 707. The first successful commercial jet airliner was in 1959. How cool is that? And lastly, 1961, on this date, President John Kennedy holds the first live televised presidential news conference.
That's fun.
First time in history. 1961.
January 25th is a wild day.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. I thought you'd like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what we got going on in the news. We can talk about it. Trump strikes certain. So, well, that.
Well, while Mr. Frank tries to find
Yes.
another article, let's
Yes.
talk about Generation Alpha.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You were onto that before we went to commercial. So let's talk about
yeah.
that. Okay.
So
go.
there's a whole stigma about them that they're iPad kids because
Mhm.
they're all evil and all they do is watch YouTube 24/7, and it demoralizes them and makes them go crazy, and they're just so caught on with the world, and their brains are so overwhelmed, and they feel that they need instant gratification because they're just so used to getting everything on their iPads and stuff, and they're so used to being shut up by a millennial parent just throwing an iPad at their face that they just feel the need to act out and stuff. There are a bunch of teachers who are like quitting their jobs being like, this generation is insane, and they're gone. And I can attest to the insanity of this generation because I have been attacked by their kind in numerous birthday parties and have fortunately survived. No joke. They are brutal. They are merciless. And the parents don't do anything. I will literally go to their parents and I'm like, haha, you can't get me. I have immunity. I'm behind your mom. They attack me anyway. And then the adults say nothing. And I'm like, you guys are adults. Why aren't you adulting? Like, no, they're not even looking. They're not even using their authority. So those kids literally, oh my gosh. I remember I had a pool noodle that I tried to use to defend myself. They ripped it to shreds. I don't have a pool noodle anymore.
I hate when that happens.
I know, right? When a bunch of little Gen Alpha kids rip up your pool noodle. And another kid found a metal pole and tried to hit my friend in the head with a metal pole. I didn't even know we had a metal pole. Why did I say hole? Anyway, it's very similar. Two words, very similar.
Yes.
Anyway, crazy. And it's like 57% use screen time all the time. And I heard there was a account where this woman had a baby, doesn't even know how to speak English yet, can't even read. Looked at a butterfly and pinched his fingers to the air. The kid was trying to zoom in. Couldn't distinguish between what's two-dimensional screens, like electronics, and real life, and thought that the whole world is a digitized realm, just like your iPad, where if you see a butterfly, you can just move your fingers and it'll zoom in before you can even read, before you can even like comprehend English words or any language words.
The Matrix.
Let me zoom in on this butterfly.
So this child is
crazy.
Living in the Matrix.
Yes, literally in the Matrix.
Wow.
And I live with one of their kind.
Your brother.
Yeah, quite a big specimen.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with iPad. Obsessed. And that's why I'm conducting my IB math internal assessment is basically conducting a survey. I'm experimenting on him to find out why is he like this? Why is he crazy? And so I think it's definitely he doesn't eat that much food. I just started. So I'm just seeing so I'm thinking that it's the food that makes him whiny and horrible because he doesn't eat, and I think it's because of the screen time. So I'm trying to see correlation between screen time and food consumption. So I'm taking photos of before and after he eats a meal, and I'm getting data from that, and then I'm looking at the screen time map on his iPad and seeing what he's doing. And then I put a survey out to his friends, his friends' parents, because those kids are the ones who attacked me. So it'd be really interesting to see if they're exactly like my brother, right? This is why they're friends, probably. But this generation, again, also since they're so involved in the internet and all that, they're changing themselves. They're growing up way too quickly to please other people. There are 10-year-old girls who go to Sephora. You know what Sephora is?
No.
It's a makeup product store, sells makeup products for women.
Okay.
It's been around for a while.
Okay.
I never really, I don't really use makeup. I don't know how to use it, but I know my mom used to go there a lot. 10-year-olds are going to these makeup places. They know everything about the skincare products. They have skincare routines, all these makeup stuff, and they're shoplifting lipstick.
How much skincare do you need at 10
They're
years old?
10. You know what I was thinking about when I was 10?
Chocolate bars.
No.
No.
I was thinking about why the heck, like, why did they make the Death Star have a weakness in the center? Like, why couldn't they just build it without the weakness? That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about Star Wars. When I was 10, Star Wars was my life.
Yeah.
Okay? And all of a sudden, like, I was wondering how many lightsaber colors could
That's
there
a
be?
very, very cogent thought, though. It's like, why would you design a planet?
And there's like a perfect place for you to fly an X-Wing and just shoot 2 holes. Perfect right there. Just shoot it. Shoot the holes and it goes right down the tube and blows up the whole thing right away.
Yeah.
Never understood that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like have it sealed off so no one can shoot in there? Like, what? Anyway.
But then you wouldn't be able to blow up the Death Star, and that would destroy the whole movie.
Yeah, I know, but I
Yeah.
mean, but you're supposed to. It just doesn't. What if it wasn't a movie? What if it was real life?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it wasn't a movie; it was real life.
Yeah.
When I was 10, I'm like, this was real.
So
it said a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's not lying.
So you were in the Matrix too.
Yeah, I know I was, but at least I wasn't like shoplifting at Sephora. It was a different kind of Matrix. It was a healthier Matrix.
Yeah.
It was a children's imagination. These kids are putting makeup on at 10. They look like they're 15. It's scary. But that's the negative stuff.
Yeah.
The positive stuff is that they're proven to be very emotionally intelligent, more emotionally intelligent than any other generation. I can attest to this. My brother is very emotionally intelligent. So people say it's because most of their 70% of their parents are millennials.
Okay.
And so millennials, baby boomers, they were exactly, let's talk about your feelings. So millennials, that's the generation where the world started really talking about therapy and all that stuff. So emotions are like super valuable now and very respected. So the kids are born and raised. And there was this one teacher on like in opposition with the other teachers saying that these kids are unteachable and crazy and uncontrollable. This teacher was like, there are these 2 kids that were fighting. And then one of them, the middle, and the mediator said, you know what? Kelsey's going through a lot right now. How about we both calm down and talk about this later? 8 years old. Kelsey's going through a lot right now. How about let's calm down, and when we're in a clear space, we can talk about this.
So she's in 3rd grade.
Yeah. So they're emotionally intelligent, apparently, which is cool. My brother, like, oh my gosh. I remember there was something going on where it was like, you should always do good stuff, otherwise God will get mad at you. And then my brother's like, does that mean mommy is God? Someone said that.
So
yeah.
my parents would say, we are God's representatives.
God's representatives.
So we
say
God,
we're Santa's representatives.
God gives us the authority as parents to being parental. God is our ultimate parent, right? And then parents parent their child just like God thinks of the adults as his children.
Yeah.
So
my brother says weird out of pocket stuff. Like one day, like he was really mean to me and he pinches me a lot. And I'm like, oh, don't forget, I'm the one who wished for you when I was 5 years old. If it weren't for my wish, you wouldn't be here. And he looked up to me and he goes, I'm not here because you wish for me. I am here because God willed it. I'm like, what? He's not even religious. I'm agnostic. My parents are religious, but they're Hindu. And we haven't really told him much about it. So how the heck does he know?
He picked up on it.
Willed it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know how to spell cat. He can't read. What?
You have to work with that child.
So out of pocket. But yeah, they are definitely smarter than any other generation. But when it comes to behavior, they're a little out of control.
Okay.
Especially with the YouTube.
Okay. We're going to take a regulation timeout. We'll be right back. So stick with us. We have much more to come.
Service. Produce Safety experts offer individualized support to ensure your farm meets the regulatory requirements. Contact us today at fdacs.gov/OFRR. That's fdacs.gov/OFRR to schedule.
Why does Daddy spend so much time caring for the land, Mom?
When he's taking care of the land, he's really taking care of us.
How?
He wants us to have clean water to drink, fresh air to breathe, wildlife to enjoy, and he wants to leave this land better than he found it.
Sounds like Daddy loves us a lot.
He sure does.
Conservation, there's something in it for you. Call or visit your local USDA Service Center. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Conservation Service.
The National Cattlemen's Beef Association is providing multiple internship opportunities for students to learn about different aspects of the cattle industry. Internships are offered in NCBA's offices in Denver, Colorado and Washington, D.C. New this year, NCBA is launching a producer education and sustainability internship focused on implementing the cattle industry's sustainability goals, as well as supporting the Beef Checkoff-funded Beef Quality Assurance Program and providing educational resources to cattle producers to improve land management, animal health, and profitability. The internships will occur in the summer of 2024. NCBA and the Public Lands Council are also now accepting applications for the summer 2024 Public Policy Internship in Washington, D.C. from May 20th to August 23rd of 2024. This internship allows students to work jointly with NCBA and PLC to advance policies important to the beef and sheep industries. Applications are due by February 23rd. I'm Sabrina Holverson for the Southeast Ag Bank.
WSTU Stewart.
Okay.
You are listening to Jump by Van Halen.
That's right. Good for you.
I grew up with the 80s stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
It was all on my dad's iPod. This is before the phone, back in the dark ages, before I had my iPhone.
Yeah.
Before Spotify, which I can't live without right now.
Yeah.
Spotify is the most valuable thing in my life. But I had an iPod. And I could only listen to the songs that were bought and downloaded in it, which is crazy. Right now, I would literally jump off a cliff if someone told me that. But it was crazy, so I could only listen to my dad's stuff. And so, yeah, my dad's stuff was mostly 80s rock. Some of it, he likes alternative, edgy stuff like The Cure.
Mm-hmm.
So
last year we were talking about the what is it? The United Nations, and you wanted to do the youth version of the United
Model
Nations.
UN. It's official.
Right.
We're going to Miami. It's official.
Okay.
The district gave us a green light. We have 9 kids. We're
Right.
going. I'm going to be on the Human Rights Council.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you already have an itinerary worked out?
Pretty much. So the human rights issue that I'm going for is basically our goal is to freedom of the press, just protect that, and other nations that don't do it. So, yeah.
Which would be just about, but
only 13% of the world has like full freedom of press. So that's pretty much most of the world.
13%.
13% of nations have like a full freedom of press without any censorship.
Right. So
yeah, even the U.S. has a little bit of censorship, teeny bit,
Mm-hmm.
But like, countries like we're assigned Belgium, we have more free press than the U.S. does.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then again, Belgium, same type of white person.
But Belgium is interesting in that it is the seat of power for the EU.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. That's why I chose that country. I'm like, number one, it was a little obscure, so no one's going to take it.
Right.
And then number two, secretly, it shouldn't be obscure at all.
Right.
It's pretty important. So I picked Belgium. Also, French fries come from there.
Really?
Yes.
Do you know why they call them French fries?
Because the Belgians speak French?
No, different and unique products that are special in some way get the French verbiage.
But why weren't they called like, I don't know, why didn't they have an accent? Why is it just called a French fry?
Just called French fries. Because they were just not.
Like they don't call Chanel French perfume.
Right.
They call it Chanel.
Chanel.
Why didn't they come up with something like Fabergé?
Right.
Just Fabergés instead of French fry.
Marketing. Yeah.
Fry-shay. Fry-shays.
Isn't that interesting?
Fry fries with the accent on it.
Fry fries.
Fry fries. Why is it gotta be French fries? They lost creativity on this one.
Yeah.
Why did they just call it the Belgium rectangle or something?
Like green beans. You buy.
They're green and they're beans.
They are, and you can buy French cut green beans. Do you know what that?
What
they're
is
cut
French
in a
cut?
Diagonal.
Why do they just call it diagonal cut? Dia cut, D cut.
Because
okay, no, D cut doesn't sound good.
No, we don't want to go there.
No.
But so there you are on that. So that's because it's unique, it's different. It's not just a regular.
Oh, it's like when those people call garbage garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah, no, I hate those people. I hate that. Garbage.
Yeah.
Some people call, the people go what and why instead of what and why.
Yeah.
They call marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the weirdest thing.
Right.
I'm okay with the what and why, but the marijuana is going too far, man.
No. Oh, we got a caller in our newsmaker line. Uh-oh. All right. I got him hooked up. All right. You're on the air.
Hello, Frank.
Hey.
Hello, Mark.
How you doing?
How about freedom fries?
Freedom fries. We did that, didn't we? About 20 years ago after 9/11?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They renamed them.
Yeah. Well, my father, it was for whatever reason. I forget what it was. I forget, but that was against the French a little bit.
There was the U.S. and the French had a falling out over, and I'm like you. There was, who knows?
There was something.
It was something. There was a falling out. And so they decided they were going to take the word French out of our nomenclature.
I still have some friends that call them freedom fries.
Well, good. Why? Good on them. Sure. Why not?
Old people.
Old people like myself. Yes. I love it.
All right.
Very good.
Love the show.
Thanks, buddy.
Best listen to show around, I think.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
Well, you have a great day. Thanks for calling.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So there you go. So freedom fries. I like the alliteration.
That's what they used to be called?
During, I think it was after 9/11. They,
because they wanted the.
Well, it would be more patriotic.
Yeah, there we go. Nationalism.
And there was a period of time in, like Palm City, Charlie. I don't remember exactly what the incident was. There was a triggering event where the U.S. and France weren't seeing eye to eye over whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So they just decided
freedom fries. And then when we finally forgave the French, we went back to French fries.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Right.
That's so petty.
Right.
That is so petty, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's yellow mustard, right? You can just buy yellow mustard, generic yellow mustard, or you can buy French's mustard.
Oh my God. Please. French's. No.
Yeah.
Why don't they just call it France's, not French's?
I don't make the rules. I just report them.
Oh my God.
So you got that.
What else is French that I don't know? French versions of things. Go.
Oh, croissant.
Yeah, I know, but they don't call it French croissant.
No.
They just call it croissant.
Right, which is a French.
Yeah, but like,
override.
What is something that is not French that they call French? Oh, they make a version of it that's French.
I'll make a point to take a snapshot of all those different things and I'll forward them to you. But you will be amazed how much the French word is calculated in our culture.
Rendezvous, coup d'etat, it's everywhere.
Oh yeah, camouflage.
Souvenir.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all over the English thing.
Yeah.
Parliament, period. If you think about it in England, Parliament in its own right is French.
See?
The whole name of their government is in French, and they hate the French. The irony.
The irony is thick.
The irony is thick. There's this one, oh my God, the most brilliant argument I've ever heard. Some guy in like the House of Commons arguing we should ban the French language in England. He named like 50 billion things 50 billion French words and stuff that were absolutely essential for English to be English. And it was so good. Like the way he formatted it was so good. It was like he was rapping.
Right.
It was insane. It was the dumbest thing I've ever seen a government do. But it was fun. I still think that they still got more crap done that day than our Senate does in a whole year.
Well, that's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know why the Brits drive on left-handed or right-hand drive?
Why?
Because the French have a left-hand drive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and that's why we do left-hand
right?
drive.
Well, we just do.
I thought because the French helped us during the Revolutionary War and we want to separate from Britain, so we want to do that. No, we weren't petty. Only they were petty. They only do petty stuff. We were petty with French fries and made them freedom fries.
If you, yeah, right?
Yeah.
If you travel in the islands, the Bahama Islands and the Caribbean, there are some islands that are French owned or were, and some islands are British owned or were. And they still carry the gripes from the respective parent countries.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
that's cute.
There are still the French islands that
hate the British islands.
Right. They still it's good natured stuff. It's all in jest, but they carry it forward, So not to be outdone, it's like, and it's part of their shtick now, which is cool.
Everyone wants to be petty. Pretty much.
Tom Petty. Very good. All right. So next week we're going to have more to talk about. Maybe we'll have a special guest join us.
Maybe
we're going to work on that. Well, and we'll look forward to you joining us here next week, right here on Treasure Coast Forum. Thanks for listening, and see you next week.
Bye.
It's important you understand how even the most generous plans